USS Wasp was the United States Navy's seventh aircraft carrier, and because of the Washington Naval Treaty, the Navy had enough tonnage for a lightly armored fleet carrier that would become Wasp. Ordered in September 1935, laid down the next year, launched in 1939 and commissioned in 1940, Wasp's weight was 14,700 tons at standard displacement. Length was 225.9 meters, beam at 33.2 meters and draft at 6.1 meters. 6 water tube boilers generated 70,000 shaft horsepower, giving her the speed of 29.5 knots. Her propulsion was composed of 2 steam turbines and 2 shafts. She was fitted with a XAM-1 radar. Armament consisted of 8 single 5-inch guns as well as 16 1.1-inch cannons and 24 50 caliber machine guns. 1 large hangar was added and 3 elevators were placed on the ship. Wasp could carry up to 100 aircraft. 4 hydraulic catapults were placed on the vessel, 2 on the flight deck and 2 in the hangar. Her biggest weakness was the lack of torpedo protection. Wasp was the first carrier to have a deck edge elevator placed, and other designs of this elevator can be seen even today. From the time of commissioning to the United States entry into World War II, Wasp would be in the Atlantic, conducting flight operations and training. In mid-1942, Wasp would do multiple ferries of aircraft to Malta with the British carrier Eagle. Because of the 2 carrier battles in the Pacific leaving the Americans 3 carriers, Wasp would be transferred to the Pacific to support the landings at Guadalcanal. She would provide combat air patrol to her task force as well as the landing ships, shooting down multiple H-8K flying boats and A-6M2N0 floatplanes. Wasp missed out on the Battle of Eastern Solomons due to her being sent back to refuel. During late August, Enterprise was sent back for repairs, and a week later, Saratoga was torpedoed, leaving Wasp and Hornet as the only operational carriers in the area. On Tuesday 15 September 1942, Wasp and Hornet, with the escort of North Carolina and 10 other ships, were escorting transports headed to Guadalcanal. Wasp's aircraft were refueled and launched for anti-submarine patrol. After recovery of 11 aircraft, a lookout sighted and reported 3 torpedoes, 3 points forward of the starboard beam. A spread of 6 torpedoes was launched by the Japanese submarine I-19. Wasp put her rudder to the starboard side to avoid the salvo, but it was too late. At about 15 minutes to 3 in the evening, 3 torpedoes hit Wasp. One of them acutely beached, left the water and stretched the ship slightly above the waterline. All hit in the area near gasoline tanks and magazines. 2 other torpedoes missed Wasp, one passing astern of Helena before the destroyer O'Brien was hit at 14:51. Due to structural damage of this torpedo, the destroyer would sink a month later. The 6th torpedo hit North Carolina at 14:52. So a spread of 6 torpedoes from a submarine managed to hit 3 ships, with 5 of them successfully striking a ship, making this salvo one of the best, if not the best torpedo spread in history. Wasp's aircraft on the flight and hangar decks were thrown with so much force, that multiple landing gears snapped. Aircraft on the suspended overhead in the hangar were dropped and hit the ones on the deck. Fires broke out in the hangar, and the heat from burning gasoline caused an explosion of the forward ammunition for anti-aircraft guns on the starboard side. The No. 2 1.1-inch gun mount was blown overboard. Water mains were inoperable on the forward part of the ship, so no water would be available to put out the fires. The ship had a list between 10 to 15 degrees to starboard. Oil and gasoline from the tanks caught fire on the water. Communication circuits went dead. Soon, a serious gasoline fire broke out in the forward portion of the hangar. Within 24 minutes of the initial attack, there were 3 additional major gasoline vapor explosions. Captain ordered abandon ship, and was scuttled by destroyers. Wasp sank at 9 p.m. 193 men had died during the attack and multiple were wounded. Another Japanese submarine, the I-15, observed and reported the sinking as the I-19 was busy avoiding depth charges and survived. The carrier was found in January 2019.